Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 54 of Rant, the show where we find interesting car ads from around the internet and occasionally rant about things that make us angry in the automotive world. I'm your host, Cone Dodger, joined by Kurt and ZK. Hello.
Rage! Anger.
Anger. Oh, I love this hobby. It's fantastic. I promise we're not going to get into it right out of the gate because that's probably a bit much, huh?
Please don't leave. No, wait,
yeah,
come back.
It's like, hi, everybody. Welcome to our show. Let's get mad. About nothing to do with car ads as well.
I mean, that works for talk radio, doesn't it?
I guess, but are we talk radio? I feel like we're probably a standard below that.
Oh, yeah.
As if talk radio has standards. Was there really many car talk shows? The only one I can think of is the NPR one.
Like car talk?
Car talk with Click and Clack, was it? Maybe?
I'm going to admit to something that I've never listened to that.
I've listened to it only because my dad would put it on on a Saturday or Sunday when we were out working on the car or something. But other than that, no. And he's going to be real disappointed if I was wrong. Well, let's not disappoint everybody else and dive straight into some car ads from the internet with some...
No, sometimes we have street sweepers or...
It's true. Nobody other than ZK really strays from the automobile world. But it does happen. But Rant Parked is all about cars that are for sale that claim to be Rant Parked as if that is some kind of valuable information to us. And this is a 1972 Chevelle Nomad 4-door wagon, Project Rant Parked, $2,500. All in the title, by the way. The description of this is have title. Gotta say, that's better than some.
We skipped the, part of the show we're angry and went straight to Nomad.
Oh, you. Oh, you.
Oh, good night, everybody.
Oh, you. Get out. Anyway, I didn't know the Nomad went until 72. I thought the Nomad was a short-lived thing earlier. I would need cubes here to tell me what this is.
Was this one of those things where GM just kept the badge around?
Yeah,
Certainly
because
looks
the
like
actual the Bel Air Nomad was special because it was a 2-door wagon. It looks like they just applied the Nomad name to the wagon version.
A wagon.
Yeah.
Which
apparently they also called the from 77 to 81, Chevy also called the full-size Chevy van a Nomad. They have no honor.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is any brand less honorable with their badging than GM? They will drag anything through the mud.
Oh, yeah, one day you should go down the Cutlass rabbit hole on Wikipedia.
Yeah, and then any Wikipedia about any long-standing General Motors product is just a nightmare because it became 16 different things through those years. Usually progressively worse.
Yeah.
This one...
Progressively worse.
It's progressively worse. It's kind of gross, but it's not unrestorable, I would say. Simple straight six car and...
Sure has no problem moving that giant wagon.
Oh, I'm sure. And but it's a fairly rust-free. I don't know how desirable of a generation these are. I don't mind the way that it looks, but it's not terribly pleasant looking either.
I feel like this is sort of that ultra generic late 70s, early 80s car.
Which you would think by this point
it's a 72 or yeah,
but you would think by this
era.
point anything in this era is suddenly worth money just because none of it's left, or if it's left it's worth, way too much money. So I feel like $2,500 for anything that's a 72, and especially a wagon, is probably decent purchase-wise. If it has, floors and a title, which is big.
Is this one of those things though where you can get like these years of parts from Jegs, but every part is excluding the wagon?
I feel like that might be a bit of a fear of yours, thanks to me. I feel like I've done this to you.
Listen, the audience has no idea the trauma I've gone through.
It could be, but I mean, I think the wagon is just like
The same as every other GM wagon.
right. It doesn't look unique in any way to anything else they were making. I don't know, but to me,
Yeah.
anything
I could just see it.
2,500.
Like if somebody with like an actual like 2-door Chevelle SS or something needed like a bumper or headlights or
Oh,
like this is where there would be their parts car. I feel
Right.
like, but
I think my dad did that. If I remember correctly, he like sabotaged a Malibu wagon, I think, to fix one of his El Caminos.
Sabotaged?
Sabotage was probably not the right word. He set it up to explode,
yes, the next owner is gonna get a
He
fun little surprise.
took the parts he needed, but then like shoestringed it back together. So,
See,
like,
I was picturing like he cut the brake lines and then okay, I really need a rear end from one of these things.
I can't. It starts with an S. He sacrilегed. He sacrificed.
Sacrificed?
Thank you. Thank you.
Jeez. Sacramento.
Let me get out of here. Kurt, what do you have?
Speaking of things that start with an S, I guess, in 1985, SVO Mustang project for sale, $1,400, sold as is, has not been ran in many years, but ran when parked, not drivable, needs to be trailered, all meaning the same thing.
As in, it doesn't run.
True. Serious buyers only. I mean, I know nothing about Mustangs.
Do you know this
We
is
do
a
know-
4-cylinder?
I did not know. But okay. I just know that our history with Fords in the field leads to some interesting ecological discoveries.
Which is weird for this one.
Right. Because it's an 85.
Oh, you think it's too new
Why? Why else
Because
would
it-
it be weird?
because it killed the yard. Like Ford's supposed to be great for yard growth. Look at this thing.
Oh, true.
It's
Yeah,
murdered the yard.
Sabotaged it, you could say.
Yeah, the SVO was like their.
Was it the turbo
Yeah,
one?
it was the. Oh dear God, fuel's expensive now. What if we made a Turbo 4? People would love that.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Easy, ZK,
Oh.
easy.
We actually talked about this in Discord a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
In that last picture, you can see the speedometer.
Yeah.
At this time,
Oh yeah.
you could only have a speedometer that goes up to like 80 or 85. So what Mustang and Ford did is it's got all the notches. The numbers just stop at 85.
Right. So it could keep going. If you go 100, it like the needle's gonna be at 100. There's just no numbers there.
Yeah. And it's just weird that you picked this because we had this discussion in Discord the other day. And because I remember there was a car that did that, and I was trying to find it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like the mid '80s SVO.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is.
Also weird, it's 5-lug. I thought these were all 4-lug, or
yeah, I don't know.
In the Wikipedia, this one's a 5. It's got the same wheels. Must be the
I think
factory
maybe
wheels.
you're thinking of just like the base LX was a 4-lug.
maybe
Because the SVO was like, if I remember correctly, because I was negative 2 at the time, so it's a bit fuzzy for me. I think the SVO was almost as much as a 5.0. So like you either got an SVO or you got the V8, but package-wise they were kind of the same. I think. Because
no idea.
a turbo engine was not cheap to make in 1985.
No.
So you were not It was not like today a turbo 4-cylinder Mustang is like the entry level, but that's because they make that engine for literally everything. So it doesn't matter to them to put it in a Mustang. It's just like the least powerful they have and the most fuel efficient they have, which was the idea of this. It was supposed to be more fuel efficient, but just as fast. And I certainly knew people that were really into them. But somebody wasn't really into this one.
Nope.
It's missing like all the
Plastic.
It's like missing. Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like it's missing all of the lenses to the
I
light.
saw lenses in the trunk. I wonder if they like popped them out.
They're on the left.
Yeah, maybe they popped them out to like preserve them or replace them.
Maybe
or...
they fell off.
It is a Ford. what can you really expect here?
Sad looking.
It is sad looking. That is a sad looking ran when parked. Hasn't ran in many years, but ran when parked. If you say so. No engine bay pictures too.
Of course.
Oh, I know what I I know what this is just by the preview right here.
I know it's so good.
Secrets.
One of the best badges.
So the same year, you could also get a turbocharged 300ZX, which I'm pretty sure this is a turbo because it's got the hood bump
And you could make the same power
with a V6
with the
turbo,
V6.
but only $1,500 OBO.
And purple.
Has been parked for a while. Has sparked, but no fuel to start. Will throw in new dash. No rust T-top slots of potential. This is like a weird poem.
It's-
1500 OBO. Do not email, text, or call only.
Paint color purple. I love the color.
it is purple.
That is a stock color, right?
I don't think so. I think
You don't?
This is repainted.
It does look like a respray, but I don't know.
I don't think it. I mean, it might be like era painted too.
True.
This is my favorite of the years of the Z31 300ZX, 85 and 86, because they had the split taillights. The later ones went to like a flat light bar across the back, and I don't think they look as good.
But this is also the year, and I think it was only the turbo models came with the digital dash.
You could get the digital dash. That was an option. But
This one has it.
It does, and it has the cool radio, which is in kind of gross shape, but
Unfortunately, it's automatic, but like,
that's okay.
yeah.
These are they're pretty simple to convert if you wanted to. Good replacement dash.
Like, it doesn't, like, the paint's a little faded, I guess.
I mean, no offense to those that like purple cars, but I think I would probably repaint that either way. Personally.
Well, I mean, it's an automatic.
It is an automatic.
I was thinking the rear diff. If it's got the limited slip rear diff, I could take that for the.
Oh, really?
280.
That R200 is, jeez. That diff, Kurt. You have no idea about that diff.
No, I'm starting to learn about that diff.
I have one. Do you want to come get it?
Literally the same diff that's in the back of the 240 SX from 30 years later. Like the amount of time they used that differential is
I have
insane.
one sitting in my garage if you want it.
Is it limited?
Is it limited?
No.
No.
Okay. But you can just get a two-way or like whatever for it. Just get a.
I mean, I have one in the car.
Right, it's already an open diff R200.
But
I'm saying you could get
like
okay.
WRXs have them too that you can.
But all the viscous ones are like not working at this point anyway.
Good God, they are not. Don't do it, Kurt. It is a waste of money. It is
Like if you want to do it, get like an R32 geared one. But even those are expensive for what they are.
We don't really have time for it here, but if you want an interesting thing, do a little search on what a 1.5 and like 2.0 way diff works.
Oh, I saw that diagram or whatever.
Yeah,
recently.
we had this
I'm
discussion on
I
Discord.
get it now.
And like ever since Gran Turismo, like that was one of the things. Like you went to the diff, you clicked two-way, and you moved on because you were like, well, that one's the most expensive. But yeah, to actually learn how the 1.5 or the 2.0 or even the 1.0, the way that it like differs the way the limited slip works is really fascinating. So it's a good Google if you want to Google something today.
It's a good Google.
You're a good Google. I think this is a good buy. These cars are really starting to come up.
$1,500. I feel like this is like a good place to start too.
Yeah, and these, like I said, these were kind of laughed at for a long time because they were that very, very iconic 80s wedge shape, which in the 90s people were like, haha, you have one of those ugly 80s cars. And now there's a whole culture around it. So, yeah. I don't know, good money, I think. I don't think it's a turbo looking at it.
But it has the digital dash and the bump, so
Maybe.
I don't know that much about them.
I think you could option that stuff out or just change it out.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Either way, it's good money, I think. And it's not a 2+2 because, good lord, they're ugly.
Do you want your car but longer?
But not
only in the middle.
Yeah, not proportionally longer. All right, let us move into. I'd make that mistake. And once again, the stakes are high.
Are they?
Well, Kurt's still got Bringer trailer money sitting around, you know?
Do I?
Well, we
trying to
haven't,
restore Datsun.
we haven't gotten any drinks yet, Kurt, so I have to imagine that you do.
They're on their way.
I have a couple of things this week, one of which...
Rules. Breaking the rules.
Listen, I made the rules, I can break the rules. I don't know if this counts as a mistake I would make, but we don't have mild interesting anymore. And this is just kind of weird. And like, if I did have money sitting around for absolutely no reason, I wouldn't mind buying it and fixing it up at least. But it's a 1987 MR2 Spider convertible? Question mark? This car didn't exist.
This car gives me anxiety.
Like, there was T-top MR2s. There was an MRS 20 years later. But there was no convertible AW11 that I know of. Mm-mm. But this right here...
And having owned a convertible type thing...
I don't even know, like, if this was an aftermarket company, if it was custom.
It looks like... If it was custom, it was done well.
Right. That's what I thought. Like, if it was custom... It was a well-done custom, but it does look like that same company that did, like, the 240 and every other convertible of the era.
ASC, something like that?
Something like that, yeah. It was an American company. They would get the cars and convertibilize them. Mm-hmm. And then the dealers would, like, they would sell, like, a 240 convertible was sold as a 240SX convertible. But Nissan didn't make that. Nissan just gave them a chassis.
Yeah. It was like unlike some of the weird dealer models that have existed over the years, like, I don't have a specific example, but where dealers would buy cars and then get them converted and then sell them on their lot too. Mm-hmm. Which used to be a thing.
Yeah, they did used to be a thing. I'm thinking of
But with Nissan in the 90s, they actually sold ASC or whatever the car, or gave them to them, and there was sort of a officially thing. Yeah,
like they would hand it to them, then they would hand it back, and it would still be a Nissan vehicle. Versus I'm thinking of the Firehawk Trans Ams.
Yeah,
like they would give them a Trans Am, they would get the Firehawk package, and you could get one off the lot as a Firehawk, but it was sold as a aftermarket tuned vehicle. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this gives me nightmares, but I would love to unbody kit it and like fix it up because it's kind of neat. You couldn't use it for anything anymore because I bet you that thing flexes like no tomorrow.
Yeah, the body kit is pretty bad.
Yeah, the body kit's a shame, and the wheels, but
but
it could be brought back, assuming that's not all rust under that fiberglass.
I was gonna say it depends on how well that roof has been working.
A mistake I would legitimately make if it was just a little closer. I always had a soft spot for the first gen Celicas. I've always really liked the first gen front wheel drive Celicas too. This is an 87 Celica GTS. Needs a new motor. This one rebuilt. It's 5-speed manual. Previous owner
20
drove it
V-swap.
without oil. What'd you say?
20 V swap.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do something crazy like that with it. This is just in a remarkably good shape. You never find
the
this.
interior.
It's great.
When's the last time there was an interior made in this burgundy color? What year?
You're looking at it.
I bet you it was GM, and I bet you it was late in the 90s.
I mean, so my Roadmaster kind of has this, and it's a 96, but beyond that,
You think it's time for a comeback?
I am so sick and tired of all these drab cars.
Mm-hmm. You want to get into your car and be angry.
Your blood pressure to rise.
97,000 original miles, very original shape. I would love to fix, not that thing, well, both of them, but I would love to fix up this car. It's cheap. I like the fastback better than the notchback, but I still really like this car. I love the integrated spoiler. It'd be a really great rallycross car, powers. And yeah, that's just one that I found that I would very legitimately make the mistake, especially if my money wasn't currently tied up in 2 other things currently.
To be continued.
To be continued. It's a good car. Oh,
It's a good car.
two Toyotas. Kurt.
Speaking of good rallycross cars, how about a 1989 Mazda 323 GTX for $2,500? Now, let me preface this
Oh,
by saying I've done some research, some rare Ranwin Park research,
look at this guy.
and I question that this is a true GTX.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. It's hard to find information on them, but apparently there's rally. What's the word I'm looking for?
Homologation?
That's the one. They had both turbo, like turbos are the ones that fetch a lot of money and are actually like kind of sought after. But not many of those came to the US. And then there was also like non-turbo GTXs, but they're all-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
Little 2-door hatch, little nugget. But there's no engine bay pictures here, so I question what it actually has. It doesn't have any of the turbo badging or the GTX badging, and it also is missing the spoilers on the back that the GTX came with.
I thought they had a
Still.
different front end too,
Mm.
and not a flat tire.
And yeah, true. The flat tire is not standard equipment.
Paul has a
regardless.
GTX, right?
Yeah, Paul has a all-wheel drive turbo GTX. Or we can game if we want to. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
No, I mean even forgetting that it might not be a GTX, it's an all-wheel drive. It would be slow, but it would be cheap and fun, I think.
Yeah. Oh well, it is. Yeah, it is all-wheel drive at least.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much certainty that it's a GTX. Then I think. Pretty sure. But either way, yeah, this would be right up the alley. That looks bent. Right up the alley. Of,
I don't know. Here's a picture
of the kind of rallycross car I would love to have. Slow, all-wheel drive, but you could just drive the thing flat out, all out, and it'd be neat. And it's they're pretty neat, little basic, but neat, like me.
You try to get parts for
blank canvas.
Blank canvas.
And I heard that before.
And for $2,500.
Right.
If it is a GTX, sure.
You're gonna hold it to the GTX? Aren't these Fords? Isn't it a
I don't think so.
Festiva? I think.
I think there was some cross pollination.
Ford and Mazda in the 90s. Yeah. 96 to now. Wow, that's a long haul to really not have much information about this thing. Weird.
Weird.
Yeah, the only thing that makes it is the all-wheel drive.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, like it's cheapness.
And its cheapness.
It could be cheaper than that if it's a non-GTX.
True. Oh boy.
So what, my friends, is a bigger mistake than one Eagle Talon? 2 Eagle Talons.
No, these are talons.
Talons. TSI. Also all-wheel drive, $1,500 or $2,500. I think one of them is just a shell. But anyway, this is how you get a one running Eagle.
No. I think
No, you need like 2 or 3 more to get a running
if you haven't
DSM.
been watching the current Mighty Car Mod series, this is every bit of what they've been going through.
It is a complete. I don't know if it's the. I think the white one is a complete car, and the red one's like a parts car.
In the bin.
Also, I want this 2-car trailer.
It's pretty much identical to the trailer we used to tow the 240 on. They're heavy. Let me warn you right now, they are heavy.
Yeah, I do kind of want an aluminum trailer, but those are pricey.
So Talon TSIs are the all-wheel drive turbo version of the second generation? No, first generation DSM.
No, second.
Second generation DSM. And
so you had the Eagle Talon, the Eclipse,
and the Laser?
I believe the Laser, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
DSM was a weird thing.
It was. And
They
this
gave
person
some really cool cars.
is a tragic, apparently.
I'm hoping this is where he went to pick up the white one.
Well, they say in the bottom, if you need any 1G or 2G parts, PM me. So
True.
I think this is a tragic.
If this is his yard, we need to send him. We need to get him some help.
Oh, if this is the white one, that doesn't look as bad as it looked in the other.
No, they
pictures.
took up the bumper, I think, to fit it on the trailer.
Yeah, I really love the body style of these.
Wait, go back. Oh, never mind. Okay. I was like, what are those straps doing? They just closed the extra bit in the trunk. It looked like it was wrapped around the back.
That's a structural point.
You're like the people that freak out whenever I put the extra wrap on mine's like through the wheels, and they go, "Oh my God, please tell me you don't just have that strapped by the wheels like that."
Yeah.
I think I could have put the bumper back on for the pictures, huh?
Right there, it looks like a 240.
Yeah. It's got some mods to it, I can tell, by the intercooler hanging out the front and whatnot.
Well, that's just because the stock one broke.
I mean, it seems cheap. It seems weirdly cheap, doesn't it?
Yes,
oh, not running.
No.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, like they all are. But he has parts. But I don't know. All these Mitsus are always like, or in the DSMs in general, they're like forbidden fruit to me. It's like, I want them so bad, but I know how horrible it'll be, but I want them.
Yeah, but you don't drive
Give
your
me
cars anyway.
pain.
What does it matter? And I mean, it's only $5.50 to get them shipped. And let me tell you,
that's a deal.
that's a deal. This and a 3000 GT have always been on my forbidden fruit list too, because I love them. I love the style. They got one of the coolest interiors of any of this generation of the Japanese like import tuner scene.
And like they actually were
Fast.
Well,
Yeah,
they were
fast.
or at least could be made quick.
But also stabby. Very, very stabby. That's a mistake, all right. And it seems like one of those mistakes that once you go down that route, it's a hard drug. Like, this isn't a drug you just leave. This is a drug that is the rest of your life. Don't do
black tar DSM.
Let me write that down real quick. What is that? Black. Is this gonna get demonetized? Doesn't matter.
Maybe.
I already
Doesn't
demonetized my whole channel. Suck it, YouTube. Black tar DSM. Great. That's fantastic. Thanks for that, ZK.
Wow.
Oh boy. A good assortment of very Japanese mistakes this week.
Hmm.
2 Toyotas, a Mazda. I don't know why my brain just forgot what Mazda was for a moment there. Or questionably Mitsubishi, Chrysler, Talon, or Eagle, Plymouth? Dodge.
Laser.
I don't remember what the
Plymouth.
laser was. Was it a Plymouth?
No,
According to
those
Wikipedia.
weren't late. Oh, it was it the Plymouth Laser?
I want to say it's a
It
Plymouth
wasn't the
laser.
Dodge, right?
Don't think. No, the Dodge was the Stealth. Dodge got the 3000 GT. So Plymouth, I think, got the DSM.
Well, they're all DSMs.
True, but they aren't. Like, if you call a 3000 GT a DSM, people will get very mad at you.
Wait, what? DSM lasted from 85 to 2015?
You're kidding me.
No.
I thought it was dead in 96. Like, I thought it was dead when the third gen DSM went away.
Yeah, same. I don't know. Yeah. So for those that don't know, Diamond Star Motors was a 50-50 joint venture between Chrysler and Mitsubishi.
2 powerhouses in reliability.
Yes.
Huh. I just had I can't think of what possibly. The only other car I'm thinking of.
The brand, but still made them, or like
I'm
the
thinking
company?
of the Dodge Avenger. I think the Dodge Avenger may have been a DSM. The first Dodge Avenger. Because I think that was a
Yeah.
Mitsubishi with a Dodge badge on it. And I really liked those when they were new.
The FJ platform debuted in 1995 in the Chrysler Sebring and Dodge Avenger.
I'm so proud of myself.
Research.
I'm so proud of myself right now. All right. Okay.
You ready? Comfortable? Got some popcorn?
Is that photoshopped?
No, that's a real picture. he was having a rough morning, Kurt. So we kind of touched on it last week, and I think I touched, or last episode, I touched on this a couple times. Been trying to find a new car for Paint and myself, because Paint is without car, and somehow, I don't know how this happened, but somehow I'm paying off the TT. Like, I didn't know I've owned it that long. This is an absolute shock to
Suddenly
me.
you're old.
I don't know. It feels like yesterday I got that thing, and then a tree fell on it. Anyway, so I have notes. This is going to be in a similar vein to the ZK's car buying experience.
I skipped some things during that too.
I had to leave some details out of mine.
Cone will be skipping nothing, all the details.
Every detail. I'm dragging you through this with me.
You already have.
So yeah. So going, kind of through cars and what might be good. I'm going to tell you right now what we decided on is a Hyundai Elantra GT, which is a car. Like, it is a basic automobile. I'm going to start this with Hyundai is really weird in the way that they handle their car models, because they only ever let a generation of car last about 5 years total, like max.
Yeah, well, like most manufacturers, it's like 8 to 10 years, and there's like a facelift in the middle.
Right. Hyundai is already on, I believe, the 7th generation of Hyundai Elantra. And this car only started production in 1990. So they've really been pushing them out.
For reference, the Honda Civic is just closing out the 10th gen, and they've been a thing since like the 60s.
Right. For more than our parents' lifetimes, basically. It's quite strange the way that they're doing that, but also just their models in general is pretty weird because what we decided on was the Elantra GT, which it's confusing because they change all the time. Well, it turns out the Elantra GT isn't even an Elantra. It's a Hyundai i30 that is badged as an Elantra GT in the United States because apparently i30 is too confusing for us or whatever. So you literally have a Hyundai Elantra and a Hyundai Elantra GT that are not the same car. Like they don't even share a platform. Just that little bit of confusion. And there seems to be a lot of that these days where they're really like, as cars are now sharing platforms a bunch, they're really slicing them down into many different models and names for what is basically the same car. I guess
So like GM in the 80s?
kinda, yeah. That's a comparison. So the one we settled in on is the third generation Hyundai i30, sold here as the GT from 2016 till 2019. But just wait, it got a complete refresh in 2018 and was canceled by 2020. So it was sold for 2 years in the model that I actually am interested in, and that is the Sport, which was available only in 2019 because it turned into the N line in 2019. So 2018 Sport, 2019 N line, killed in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Confused yet? Because I am.
So I've already been down. Like I've been hearing and a part of this for long, so I already know this information and I hate it.
I hate it. It's like, I guess I get why they're doing it. I guess it's, it keeps the brand really fresh. Like, nobody can get bored of a model if we just constantly change what they're called, right?
It can't age poorly if it doesn't age.
Exactly. And not only does it, like, it's not just name, but they also, like, give them a complete new face every time. And some of them
Yeah.
are real bad. Like, the previous
The new
generation
one.
is hideous.
Yeah, those and the first gens are like, or whatever, are like
Boring.
the 90s ones are just boring. But that was back when Hyundai and Kia were sort of just trying to be a thing.
And now they're going for this look.
Oh
Ugh.
no,
The
the
Mercedes.
sedan is worse. Go back to the other one because we don't get the hatch of the new model.
We don't get
We
that.
only get
Oh, you
of
mean
the Elantra.
of the Elantra, because the new Elantra is.
Yeah, they tried to sell me one when we went to go look at the
Ugh. It's
Veloster that they
Yeah.
wouldn't let us drive.
yeah, Hyundai.
What is with the door? What is with the door?
I don't know. Like, it looks like somebody already kicked the door in, basically.
Yeah.
It seems like
It's
right. It seems like their design is, or their whole philosophy is just take swings, and if
Yeah.
50% of them miss, don't worry, we're gonna change it next year. All right, so we decide on the Sport because, as it turns out, the Sport, which usually means nothing, like they usually put a Sport badge on literally anything, but in this
Yeah, and
case,
it's like it has tint or
Right.
something.
in this case, that's the only way you can get the turbocharged engine. So it's a turbo 1.6, and for some bizarre reason, they offer a dual clutch, a 7-speed dual clutch manumatic transmission on a 200 horsepower turbo 4, which is just stupid enough for me to like it. I like how ridiculous that is, but only on the Sport or only on the N line in 2019. And in between those, they got a little bit of a visual refresh as well.
Minor, like a
Minor.
new bumper.
Yeah, got like a little, it's kind of like they Civic'd it up. Like they saw that Honda was making their Civics look extremely tuner.
Extreme.
Yeah, extreme. Very, very extra if we're going to age ourselves. Okay, so they didn't make very many of these cars. In fact, it seems to be quite hard to find the sports or the N lines. Not impossible, but they're just not everywhere. And then it's really hard to search for them because if you look for Elantra, it gives you all sedans. And if you look for Elantra GT, it gives you all the hatchbacks. But if you look for Honda Elantra GT Sport, it gives you the Elantra Sedan Sports and the GT Sports all together. Again, not making it any easier for anybody. I just wanted to sit in one because a lot of the times these cars, you know, we went through a bunch of them and finding one that met the cute standard was difficult. I don't exactly have a good cute meter for cars.
To be fair, paint apparently has a weird cute meter.
It's a strange cute meter, I gotta say. But that withheld, I just wanted to like sit in and I don't care if it was a GT or whatever, just a regular base model NA. I just wanted to sit in one and see if it was all right.
Yeah, like if the ergonomics work.
Yeah.
That's not going to change much between model. Like maybe the seats are cushier on one or you have more buttons on the other, but the steering wheel is going to be basically in the same place.
I went through this when I was buying the TT. I would just sit in things, and I knew pretty much from the moment I sat in it if I liked that car or not, because I want a car that like actually fits me. And we were out and about, and I knew there was one of the regular GTs. I saw it on Auto Trader or whatever at a Kia dealership. So we went there, and I just my dealership technique is get out of the car, immediately just start walking the lot, like stay away from the building, because that's where the vultures are. So we walked the lot, and I'm like, I don't see this car that they say that they have. And after walking it, we were already out there. I was like, I can't find it. I'm just gonna go inside and ask, you know, if they even have the thing. Go inside, ask, and like they have a desk up front with an attendant, and I'm just like, hi, do you have this car? And I just get this look of like, how dare you ask me if we have this car? I'm not qualified to tell you what cars we have. And he's like, just have a seat over there. I'll find you a sales associate so he can help you. Already angry at that point because
His eye is twitching.
right. I just like how would you? What is your job? Like, how could you not have a list of the cars that you have on your lot? That's a pretty basic part of a car dealership, in my opinion. The sales associate finally comes out and goes through, you know, the whole trying to sell you a car spiel before asking what I actually want. I ask, do you have this car? Give him the stock number for it. He looks very confused, says, I'll be right back. And we just watch him literally do the same exact walk we just did around the lot looking for this car. So like, I already knew at this point that this person had no idea if they actually had this car or not. And sometime later it comes back and it's like, oh yeah, we don't have that car. That's just coming into the dealership. It's not actually here yet. Well, then why did you put it on Auto Trader? And
Why do you have pictures of it?
Right, and why? How do you not know what? Like they only had like 20 cars. How do you not know what cars you have? Everything about this Kia dealership completely reaffirmed my belief that dealerships are the highest level of hell. Whatever is higher, worse, you know, heat rises. So I think higher is probably worse, right?
Deeper, more gates and something like that.
It's bad. It's a real bad place, and I hate
You don't
it.
know the architecture of hell. We'll have the blueprints.
What's the structural, like, how structural is internal damnation anyway?
I don't know. This is already my blood pressure is higher than it should be. Found one at a like a little mom and pop dealership about a week later and decided to take a little bit of a longer trip out there to just, again, just wanted to sit in the thing. Found this tiny little dealership, walked up on a Saturday. The guy was just out there walking amongst the cars. I stood next to the car. He came over and was like, "Can I help you with anything?" I was like, "I want to sit in this car." He goes inside, gets the keys, opens it up. We do a little tour. We decide we really like the car. The guy literally never once mentioned a word about like wanting to buy a car, anything about the car really, just kind of small talk. And at the end I was like, "Thanks, I've been looking for one of these to sit in and see if we like it." And it's like, "Okay, great, have a good day."
But
That was it.
I wish every place was like that.
I know.
The world would be a better place.
Seriously, I would have dropped everything and bought that car on the spot just for that, due to the fact that, like, he was just nice if it was the right one, but it wasn't a sport. It was just a super, like, base model. But why? Like, how? I don't understand how that hasn't caught on. That's how, like, I seriously would pay more for a car just for that experience.
I literally have no idea because I've like worked in customer service type stuff for a long time, and like stuff's not complicated. People know this. It's like, but I don't know.
I don't know. I guess it's just like it's been the old way for so long that that's just what people expect. So they think it's right.
I don't know. I feel like I'm an alien every time I go into a car dealership because apparently I do it the wrong way.
That was the perfect description. All right, so now we get into the spicy bit.
Before
Chapter 2 of 6.
Yes, Chapter 2. This is where, what did we call it? What did we call it, ZK? The entanglement begins. So pretty much on that day, it was decided, wanted one of those cars. And I was determined that I was going to buy one from like your Carvanas or whatever, which is you buy it online, they ship it to your house kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was totally cool spending more money to do it that way if it meant not dealing with the creeps, because I just couldn't do it. I was going to die. So searched for a while, and unfortunately none of them were coming up on there.
Yeah, Carvana's also weird in the way that they will only show you results within a certain distance of yourself. Like you can't see their nationwide thing.
They don't want to ship things everywhere.
Exactly.
They want to ship things within reason, which they're within reason's pretty good for me. It's a few locations, so it's not bad. It's just I said, there's not many of these. Where are we? Uh-oh, I've lost my bulleted list. Oh, okay, so didn't find one on there, but ZK sends me one from CarMax that's like pretty much perfect. It was 60,000 miles, so it was well used for a 2018 Sport, but it was a good price, and it's really the first one that I had looked at in detail, and it was like loaded, like completely every option that I didn't even think. This is the most basic transportation car you can get in my mind. So I think
Elantra was like, the Elantra is one of the cheapest cars in America.
Right. So I had zero expectations of like any grandeur with this thing, of like having options or anything like that. But I noticed it was a sunroof car and started looking through it, and it has a panoramic sunroof, navigation, heated and air-conditioned seats, adaptive cruise, lane departure, like all the like new radar driving stuff, like pretty much all of the new features.
Also, because we learned that it was part of like a tech package.
Right. So there's a package that exists only if you get a sunroof, or quote unquote the tech package. And those are the only two options on the car. You either get a base model that has like the essentials, or you get the tech package, which has literally everything. But you
also have like HID headlights. Like...
Oh yeah, yep. It's got the LED like fancy lights and everything like that. but only if you get a sunroof. So if you want a tin top car, like you don't want a sunroof, screw you, you don't get the features.
Yeah.
Which is another bizarre bit of new car buyingness. Oh, another thing, like buying cars, right? What was that?
More money, less options.
Yeah. Buying cars right now is real tricky because apparently new car availability is real low, which is making used cars sell like crazy.
You say that.
I say that.
Well, no, it's true. It's just the inverse of what you would expect for a trade-in value to be.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
anyway, things are moving really fast right now, as much as we could tell. So you found this one at a CarMax in Texas, and CarMax does this thing where if you want to test drive a car, within reason, they'll just ship it to a nearer dealership to you, so you can go drive it, or I think they'll take it to your house if you really ask for it. And I was kind of still a little bit on the fence, and just kind of buying a car sight unseen like that is a little gross, especially since it was higher mileage than I was really looking for.
Yeah.
So the entanglement.
Yeah. So that car that was in Texas was actually in Houston, and is at like a North Houston location or whatever. So I was like, I just bought a car. I don't really care if my credit gets a hit again because it doesn't count the same couple of months. So I reserved the car to get a home delivery.
So ZK
Which was its own problem, but
right. But in short, basically ZK reserved the car and did a test drive of it, not with intention of buying it, but mostly for test driving it for me. And
I like driving cars, like
right.
experiencing. So it was just fun. It was like a fun weekend type thing because they do 24-hour test drives, which should be the standard for anything.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to tell if you like a car in the first 5 minutes?
Right.
So that was the whole thing too, because apparently they wouldn't deliver it to my house because of some law in Texas saying
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, they wanted me to sign something saying I was going to buy it to let me test drive it. And I was like, no.
Oops, bought another car.
They delivered it to the CarMax that's like 5 minutes from my house instead of like an hour from my house.
So reasonable. And I think you said they were cool about it. Like you just showed up, got the keys, and left.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, this is the car. Okay, you have insurance. Okay, sign here. Here's the keys. See you.
Perfect.
Bring it back before tomorrow.
That's the kind of experience I want. That's what I desire. So you do the test drive. You decide you liked it, and by that point I was like, you know what? I think it's probably fine, even though it's a little higher mileage. It's cheaper, and it'll be good.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
The Reckoning.
The Reckoning. Just trying to get a hold of CarMax is a freaking nightmare. Their phone system is awful. I pretty sure at this point I have been on hold with that company no fewer than 5 hours total at this point in my life. But the first time, I just wanted to get through to them because like ZK was returning the car, and I wanted to put a hold on it like when he brought it back so that I could buy the car. I already had financing done. I had everything ready to go. All I needed was them to like hold the car, like start the process. I could not get through to them at all. And finally ZK's like, use the online chat, then they'll call you. And that was literally the only way to get things started there, was to use the online chat, basically tell them what you needed to do, they would call you and transfer you to the right person.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awful to begin with.
So, like, I want to take a small break here, and like, CarMax sort of started the like online car selling thing,
but they haven't kept up with it.
Yeah, they feel like they're stuck in like 2000, 2005.
Yeah, everything about them feels exactly like dealerships from when I was a kid, basically.
Well, yeah, but like at least their website works for the most part.
I guess
But
so.
so they're like better than the old dealership styles, but still 15 years behind.
All right,
It's just aggravating. Okay.
it's gonna be a 5-hour episode if we don't get into this.
Yeah.
In the end, I got a hold of them, and we went through the whole. It's like a 45-minute interview of like them giving you disclaimers. Like they have to read you every recall notice for the car. They have to read you the entire car history report and everything like that.
Did that for me in person, and their computer crashed.
Then they have to go through financing that you've already done and ask you all the questions and try to sell you all the things. Just try and get to the point of making the reservation. You get through all that, and at the very end of it, at the point of like, all right, because I had to pay to get the car transferred to me because it's so far away. It's like, all right, let's get this payment done for the transfer, and we'll be done for the night. And it was at that moment he's like, oh, this car's not actually for sale. This car is already reserved for somebody else. And I was like, well, that's unusual because it's listed as available on your website. And I guess that was just kind of it for that night. But he was like, now, usually when this happens, that means like somebody's actually bought the car. It's very rare that somebody doesn't buy the car when they reserve it. So I was pretty bummed, but it was kind of whatever. But he was like, now make sure you favorite the car because it might come available again. And at that point, they give you like a text number that isn't their text number, but it basically bypasses their email system to go directly to them somehow. But it's just like a group message with the entire CarMax organization, as I've learned.
That's
It's
the
very
CEO
weird.
is there.
Yeah, it's very like people can just chime in using the same number from all over the place, which is truly bizarre. The next morning, I don't know if I noticed it or ZK noticed it.
I think I pinged you because I also had favored it, and it like popped up on my thing.
Because it like first thing in the morning, I think before I even woke up, the thing showed as available again. So I send this number a message and I'm like, hey, this car shows as available. So we go through the entire process again. Like we have to start the very beginning of all the history report, everything. Go through all of that. And at this point, just getting through to them again after being on hold forever and all that stuff. At the very end, it's like 10 p.m. and still working on this and got it done. And the last thing he says is like, I'll send you a text message with the link on how to pay for the transfer and you'll be good to go. And that's where I thought it was. But I think it was like the next day I think was a Sunday. So I was like, okay, whatever, probably not going to happen on Sunday. But by the point we got to like Tuesday, I was like, oh no, this is not good because I had not heard anything. I had not paid anything. And I sent them a message. And I think I just got a message back that was like, oh yeah, sorry, that car's not available. I was like, yeah, because I bought that car. That's why the car's not available. And then there was I think there was just some messaging back and forth. And basically, as they finally admitted, that night, I guess it got too late, so they never actually put the transfer in for the car. And somebody walked up at the dealership Monday morning and bought the car first thing Monday morning, even though I had already bought it. So they sold my car. after like many hours of dealing with them at this point.
And we test drove it for you and everything. We even hid Easter eggs in it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So somebody's gonna be like, why are there all these tiny traffic cones in the glove box?
No, so I did tell Cone this, and I guess he's not going to get the car because it's not a surprise anymore. We put like a Polaroid of toaster in where the little OBD2 port / fuse boxes.
So it would have been years later. So yeah, that just made me real mad, which I think is justifiable.
Yeah, no, that's stupid.
It's real bad. I had pretty much written off the whole thing, and I was just like, I guess I'm just gonna wait for one to pop up on Carvana or one of the other shipping things and just do it that way, because dealing with these people is a nightmare. But there was another one, bizarrely, for sale within CarMax that was like Bizarro World, the same car. Same color, same options, same car, but half the
Same VIN.
miles. Same VIN. Same VIN, same miles, but twice the price. No, it was like half the miles and a couple $1,000s more. I was real determined at that point and very angry. So that car was just coming into their system, like they didn't have it yet. It was like coming soon.
Yeah, and I think that's how the first one was too.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like they take pictures of it, but then their process is like they go through and wash it and get all the paperwork settled, and then they list it available. Which is kind of cool because then you can look at their whole fleet and kind of like reserve or
Yeah.
see stuff before having to jump on it,
Right.
basically.
So I looked and I looked and waited for it to become available. The day it becomes available, I think ZK again tells me, "Hey, that car is available." We look at it and it's just like, no transfers, can't be transferred, and it's not anywhere near me. But it's closer, but not anywhere near me. And I mean, I was already so angry at that point. I was just like, well, screw it. But later in the day, as it stewed inside of me, I again went to like the online chat help and just asked like, why can't this be transferred? I explained like, you already screwed me over once on this exact same car. Is there any way you could just like transfer this thing to me? And their explanation was that it had like, I guess the title hadn't cleared yet, basically. So they didn't have the title, so they couldn't transfer it out until that happened. But all they said to me was, title issues can't be transferred. You'd have to come up here and get it, which I was not going to do. Pretty much just threw the whole idea in the bin at that point. I need that Marty clip right now. And it went for days, and I was just like, totally dropped it. I was just, it's over, whatever. The entanglement is through. And then on Friday, I randomly get a message from this same number that after I already emailed the company and explained everything that had gone on and how angry I was and didn't get a reply.
I forgot you sent them a nasty gram.
Oh boy, did I ever. It was thorough. It was as thorough as this is. Didn't get a reply or anything, but like I fell full on like, Karen, speak to your manager good about it. But anyway, I did get a message that was just like out of nowhere, hey, is there anything we could help you with at this point? Otherwise we're going to close this line. Like, I guess they have an active, I don't know what you would call it, case on you?
Ticket, a support ticket.
There you go, ticket. And I was like, well, unless you can get the car back that you sold from me, or this one that you say isn't transferable, probably not. No reply. And then hour later or so, here's the phone ringing from the same sales guy that I went round and round with again, saying, oh, hey, I can transfer that car for you. All of a sudden, like, oh yeah, I can transfer that car for you. I'm going to make sure that this happens. This is ridiculous. I can't believe that they've done this to you. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're the person that did this to me. Oh, I was so like irate about the whole thing, and I just didn't even believe anything at that point. Went through the whole 45-minute spiel again on like reserving the car. Get to the point of the end of like, at the end they're like, all right, now we need the dealership that has it to do a walk around of the car before we can transfer it, which is the same point we got to with the last car. And he's like, they're not picking up the phone. They won't answer the phone for us. We keep calling and we get trapped in a hold loop. They're using the same phone system that we try to call and can't get through to anybody. So I went to bed that night just certain, like, well, not gonna get that car too. This was all just a bad dream park too. But the next morning, or actually it was like by the afternoon, he's like, I'm just gonna try again. We have to go through the whole process again of going through all the rigmarole. But at the end, like, they get to that step, calls, and then within like 30 seconds, they're like, okay, the walk around's done. So they don't even do the walk around. Like, the walk around's fake. It doesn't exist. I was so mad. But in the end, apparently, maybe, there's an Elantra headed my way. Thanks. Thank you. I have more thoughts, but like, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. Like, it's not. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like, CarMax is not set up like the dealership of the future like we hoped they would be. Like,
No.
like they're very much so just an old-fashioned dealership that has a
do think
fancy website.
Carvana is better about that. One of my friends bought a car through them, and it was basically how you would hope. But their whole shtick is you can't really test drive a car.
Right. But you can now with them. Like, they'll ship it to you, and you have 30 days to return it, basically.
Yeah, but you still have to pay for it.
But you have to buy the car, essentially.
Yes. And then return it.
Right. So, I hope I never have to buy another new car in my life. I hope this Hyundai lasts a real long time, because
It's not even new.
It's not even new, yeah.
Shady Craigslist deals are so much easier.
So much easier. I would so much rather worry about being stabbed than I would dealing with all this ever again.
Easier to like do the transaction to sell the Saab to a random guy in Kentucky.
Right.
Text messages.
So stay tuned.
To maybe a new car, possibly. I just want my butt to be air conditioned.
It was really nice though.
At least
Yeah,
I don't
that
have,
was
I don't have to sit in a
in
car.
Arizona. That's one thing that I wish was more common.
Yeah.
I wish that was an option in the Civic, but it's got heated back seats.
Ooh. So I'm sorry, everybody, that you had to get drunk through that with me, but I needed it to be heard. Because, I mean, I say me and ZK have been losing our minds, but ZK's been losing his mind over something completely different related to me.
Are we getting into that or no?
No, good lord, no. Jeez.
I don't know if I'm qualified for that sort of
Let's
therapy.
just put it this way: that you know, like the GIF of the lady looking, and like you see all the math and everything, like that, but Ford part numbers.
Ford part numbers everywhere. Well, this will be a real test. Like, the amount of people that vote on Best Ad for this episode are the amount of people that made it through that. And to you, you're insane. Best Ads of the week. Last episode, we had Kurt's LaCroix of Patina. We had ZK's 2005 is back lowrider truck. And we had the Boomer Special Thunderbird modified thing. And the winner is the LaCroix of Patina.
Oh, that's a surprise.
People really, really were into the LaCroix of Patina. I think
I think Kurt's buying votes with
not-
that to bring the trailer money.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's
why.
where it's all going.
That's why you can't afford a new mistake. Thunderbird got 38 votes in second, and ZK 27 votes in third. People not digging the wannabe Chip Foose.
understand why. It's the best one here.
Kurt bringing almost 100 votes there. Almost. So close.
So close.
This time around, we're gonna have to divvy up those 7 votes between us with these choices. I have again broken the rules because I have for you a choice. You can have a 1927 Volkswagen Beetle Bugatti.
I literally saw one of these for sale around me this morning.
Is it this one?
No, it was white.
Oh, it's a 1927 Bugatti, but it's actually a 73 Super Beetle, frame and everything. But it's actually really cool.
Yeah,
It's-
I dig it.
I dig it. Like, it's ridiculous. I want to autocross one.
And die.
And die, yeah. This is what CarMax has done to me. So this is, a very unfinished project. Maybe finished, but not used. And this man's face has had an unfortunate accident.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
Is that the front of his face or the back of his head? Yes.
Yes, it is. Or if maybe a Rolls is more in your order, you can have a Rolls Bug for $2,000. Which do you want? Which is for you? 4-body, no engine, floor, not bed, need left door. Has sunroof, title, need tow.
1800, that it.
That it.
1-800, that it. Maybe that's the phone number.
But I think between the two, the Bugatti's the one, right?
Yeah, why did you hurt me like this? Why would you choose the Rolls one?
Because it's a bug. There's so much you could do. You can do anything with a bug. But no, seriously, the Bugatti's like the Bugatti.
No, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Like it looks like, obviously it looks like the metal is like thinner than you would expect, so it'd like clank around and be like not good, but at the same time really good.
Yep, I'm all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I always hate how bug rear ends like toe in a lot in the suspension. It looks very uncomfortable to my eyes.
That's how they. Is that what you're looking at on the right? I thought that was a spare tire.
Oh, it is a spare tire. Boy, that's
That's
an illusion. Huh.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
That's what the leather straps are holding.
Oh,
And one of the other
yeah.
pictures on the front.
Okay. All right, I'll take it. How much was it? $6,000. I need a loan. Again. How many loans can one person have? America. It's just good. It's just good.
I did find one of those. I don't have it for my listing, but it was listed as a 1929 Bugatti Veyron.
Nice. Nice.
It's probably the only Bugatti that was in marketplace or whatever.
Right. Kurt.
I don't have a Bugatti Veyron, but I have a 1951 Co. inspired by Co-Star. No,
I don't think he's that old.
No, I don't know if he's got that much patina either, but
Have you seen him lately? Internet's done things to this man.
Yeah.
For $20,000, you can have a 51 Co. fuel injected 350 turbo, 400 auto, 1-ton dually, turnkey, solid dependable truck, great patina, fast and loud, tons of fun, classic hot rod and rat rod, all wrapped into one.
Not a rat rod.
For your automation built.
Not a rat rod.
Not a rat rod.
Not a rat rod.
Oh, we've determined the nomenclature.
I mean, you can't have a rat rod with a full front end.
True.
That's just
And
sacrilege.
well, that's all you're gonna get is the
Oh.
front end.
Oh.
I mean, just
Oh.
that's
Oh.
where everything is. It's very stubby.
Oh.
Now I like me a good stubby, but this isn't doing it for me.
Write that down. Like me a good stubby. That's a tough choice. Wait, what? What?
Ramble the weak, hurdle the dead.
Famous co-star expression.
Yep.
That's not the gas tank, I hope.
No, it has a lock on it. It's like a. That's the trunk.
You know what I see a bunch of this body used as?
Ram trucks?
Ramp trucks.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's a very weird choice.
There's been one like for sale near me of like one of these as a ramp truck, but they want like $100,000 because it's like, you know, done
Is
super fancy.
That
And it's
the
been
air
sitting-
cleaner? That's the air cleaner. Boy,
Next to your
that's
shin.
that's gonna be a great backfire. Huh. Let me guess, they want $1 million for this.
$20,000.
20 grand.
And they use, you know, vents everywhere. Wait, is that guy wearing a shirt?
I don't know what's happening in the back there. We might.
Oh, is that one of the punching dummy things?
I think that's Busto. Busto!
Oh, it is. Busto's been doing his ab
Yeah.
workouts.
Busto got swole.
That was very confusing. I was actually a little worried there for a minute.
Busto got swole. Oh, that's worth the rant. All right. Co-star. ZK.
a supposedly 1950 Ford Custom done up in gasser style. But I want to see what you think about these pictures because I noticed something and it makes me very confused.
Okay.
Fucking stubby world.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But I don't know that I agree.
Right?
This is confusing.
It looks tiny.
I can't tell if these pictures have been like poorly aspect ratio converted, but everything else is scaled right.
I know, it looks like it's about the size of a
Yeah,
Nash
that's-
Metropolitan.
Right.
And if it is, I need this in my life. But if it isn't, it still looks very strange. But
It's gotta be small. I wish they had like some reference pictures.
I know, but like you can see, like, I mean, they had like 100 pictures on their website, but none of them helped. But like all the ones taken like from the side or from that same angle, like
Mhm.
it doesn't look like someone's holding up their arms.
See, the confusing thing to me is that's a small block Ford, right? Or is it a small block
Majority-
Chevy? It's a small block Chevy.
Or they said it was 409,
yeah,
whatever
it's-
that is.
Yeah, small block Chevy. So that's like a full-on engine, and it's not cramped,
No,
but the vehicle looks so narrow. What a
Yeah.
confusing sight.
and it was like completely custom done at a shop, so who knows? Like that's a Ford 9-inch, but it looks like it's 18 inches wide.
Right. Huh.
Well, that's front suspension, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, like there was a picture of the rear end that
Yeah, like,
those axles are literally 6 inches long.
yeah,
I mean, it's got like drag slicks on the back.
Sure.
so
Not-
it's-
but those are 15-inch wheels. Those aren't that big.
I hate it.
I'm very confused.
It's I hate,
Missing perspective.
right.
If
Like-
if it's actually like it's not a Nash, but if it's a Nash Metropolitan done up to look like a Ford gasser, it's brilliant and I need it.
I don't think it is. I think that's just how big these 50 Fords were.
But they aren't, because when you look in, like, I googled like 50s Ford Custom, and the hoods are like twice as long.
Hear me
Like-
out. Is this thing like chopped in the middle?
Maybe. Like I'm saying, something very strange about it, and the ad gives zero details.
Like on a 50 Ford, they have a split windshield, right? So
Yes.
if you were gonna split a car in half and narrow it,
Yeah, you could.
it's like the perfect car to do that with. Huh. I don't know,
And
man.
like, because like this one, the headlights look bigger in comparison to the grill than like the ones I googled.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either, but now I need a mini gasser.
Well, I hope your whatever coin is doing well, because it's $30,000.
No, Elon went on SNL and it dropped 30% during his monologue.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Things they're looking up.
Well, I don't know. What are you gonna vote for? Are you gonna vote for anything you can do with the bug? You gonna vote for anything you can do with CoStar? Or are you gonna vote with confusion?
Yes.
The choice is yours. Oh boy. I'm just glad that I probably never have to tell that story again, to be honest.
And if you ever feel like you need to tell someone, you can just link them a timestamp
Right.
and be like, I'm not getting into this again.
Like, somebody's gonna be like, hey, I'm thinking about buying a car from CarMax. I'm gonna be like, whoa. Hold on. let me give you a little bit of info before you get involved in this. And to be like, Kurt, you've sold cars to them, right?
Yes.
I have
the Cavalier I sold.
Every instance I've ever heard of that from anybody, super easy, super straightforward, no problem.
Yep.
So apparently you can't buy a car from them, you can only sell them a car.
Yep.
They'll buy your car even if you don't buy theirs.
You're right. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of Ramen Park. Maybe next time, Kurt will have a very long rant.
Ooh, when is the next episode?
Oh.
Oh.
Are you planning on having a rant? Are you scheduling?
Oh, yeah, because of future
Calamity?
entanglement.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be...
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I think it's not a secret that
It's not a secret.
I'm going to Cones at the end of the month.
Oh.
So it'll be
a secret to me.
It'll be well.
It's a lot longer trip to you.
Yeah. So it'll be a partially on location again, but backwards. Oh, but Powers. How do we get Powers to run into the background?
Or are we going to record awkwardly close to each other again?
Oh yeah, we should record inside the ramp truck.
Oh yeah, we totally should.
Oh, boy.
Record inside the Hyundai.
That car doesn't exist, Kurt.
Oh, that's true.
Until that
It's
car
just
is
gonna
in my driveway, that car
vaporize on the way there.
does not exist to me. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I didn't have another one.
None of us do.